Hey YouTubers, I'm making my delicata squash rings today. You thought you didn't like squash, but today you're gonna learn to love it. Let's get started. Today I'm going to show you how to make delicata squash rings. They're really simple to make and only have 3 ingredients. First we have a coconut oil spray. You can use a spray of your choice, sea salt, and then the delicata. Next, I'm going to slice this up using a mandolin. That being said, I often don't even bother getting out the mandolin. I just use a large knife that's very sharp and cut them into small rings. Let me show you how it's done. Since I'm using the mandolin, I like to cut it in half so that I have more control. You can take a spoon and take out some of the seeds, but usually I just slice it up with the seeds in it and they kind of fall out naturally. It's best to always use a guard whenever you're using a mandolin, but these are pretty tough to get through. So I usually just start by using my hands, and then as I get closer, I use the guard, or I just slice them by hand. I'm usually going for, you know, about a 1/4 inch width on them. You can go thicker or thinner, whatever you desire. They become more chip-like as you go thinner, and they're really good. I usually go through on these smaller squash and spoon the seeds out individually. When it's a bigger, thicker squash, I can usually get the spoon in there beforehand and get the seeds out first so I don't have to go through them individually. But, you know, it only takes a second to do it anyway. And if you don't want to, you can just cook them right in there and they kind of fall out on their own, or you can pick them out as you eat them. You know, it's just how much work you want to go to, but either way, it's not a lot of work. Okay, I've got my delicata all sliced up into nice little uniform rings, and I have the ends saved for my dog. I cook them for him because he loves squash. Seriously, when we clean out our pumpkins for Halloween, he is in the middle of it eating the pumpkin innards out of it. I don't know if he's deficient in vitamin A or what it is, but he loves squash. So maybe we can all learn a lesson from the dog, right? Anyway, you can slice these up thinner for you or use them for your dog, whatever. But you want to put them on a Silpat lined cookie sheet. Now, Silpat is just a brand name. It's actually from France, and it is the original silicone liner for a cookie sheet. You can get them at Costco too, very inexpensively, and they work great. No scrubbing of pans. Also, if you have an old cookie sheet like this that you know, might be chipped up and you don't want to use, you can keep it and still use it with the Silpat, which is awesome. Okay, I'm going to put the rings on. I've got my delicata squash rings all laid out here on my cookie sheet. I've also turned my oven on to broil, and I've put the rack in the oven up about 2 slots down from the broiler. And now I'm going to spray it with my coconut oil spray. And I'm very generous with this, as it really, squash, quite frankly, needs some sort of fat and some sort of salt to taste good. Otherwise, it just doesn't. And on top of that, it helps you, any fat helps you to absorb the vitamins and minerals within a food. So you don't have to feel bad, and the dog needs some coconut oil on his too. You don't have to feel bad about adding that fat. And then I'm going to sprinkle it with sea salt, and I'm going to put it in the broiler. Now, I just want you to know that you have to watch these pretty carefully because they do like to burn. And depending on the thickness that you've got, they can be really fast, you know, a couple of minutes, or they can take, you know, 5 or 10 minutes even. So you just have to watch them. Okay, so once these get to this nice browned part, I start moving them around. So these outside ones that aren't getting browned, I move into the middle, and then I'm going to flip them all over. My crispy and creamy on the inside delicata squash rings are ready to go. They do need to be served immediately. They make a great side dish. I eat them for breakfast all the time, actually, and they are absolutely divine. You've got to give them a try. Just buy 1 delicata squash and you will be sold for life. To your health.